In this recording, we're going to practice modeling scenarios with systems of equations. So you had a little experience doing this type of work, but we're going to formalize it here. In essence, we have a situation with two unknowns. Okay, so in this scenario, Jonathan has 9 bills, and they're all 5s or 10s. Okay? We don't yet know how much he has, how much money he has. We'll find that out in a minute. But just to get our heads wrapped around the problem, what we're going to do is just hypothesize. Let's say he had 0 5s. How many 10s would he have? How much money would that be? What if he had 1 5? How many 10s would he have? How much money would that be? Keep in mind, he's got 9 bills altogether. Okay? So I'll have you complete this table and then play the recording when you're ready. So if you paused, if not, please do so. All right, so he had 9 bills. So if he had no 5s, he must have had all 10s, right? There must have been 9, and therefore it's $90. Does that make sense? And if he had 1 5, 9 bills altogether, he must have had 8 10s. So 8 times 10 plus 1 times 5, $85. If he had 2 5s, that would leave 7 10s. That's $70 plus 2 for the 5s. That's another 10, so $80. I think I'm feeling a pattern here. It's going down by 5s. Let's see if the next one comes out the same. 3 5s would leave 6 10s. That's $60 plus 15 out of the 5s. 60 plus 15, 75. Sure enough. So there's that pattern. Part B asks us to reflect on defining the variable. All right, so we're going to say f. It's kind of like our let statement. Let f represent the number of $5 bills. That's a natural letter to use, right? F for 5s. I'm not so crazy about the T for 10s. I understand T10, but T looks like a plus sign a lot of times when people write it. So just be really careful when you're writing your T. Kind of write it scripty like this to distinguish it from your plus sign. Okay. Okay, so it's saying what is this? What does this represent? 5f plus 10t. Pause your recording. Think about that for a second. Play the recording when you're ready. All right, so basically that's what we were doing over here. We were taking 5 times each one of these f's plus 10 times each one of these t's, right? 5 times 1 plus 10 times 8 makes 85. So it works out to be the amount of money that he has. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you based on the little table we just completed. Let's proceed. All right, so now we find out how much money he actually has. He's got $55, right? Still has 9 total bills. All right, total of $55. It's known that he had 9 total bills. Okay, so let's set up our system. We should have enough information to do this. So how we model this is we've already defined our variables, f and t. And so we're basically going to take each of these clues, these numbers, and try to make a number sentence, an equation out of it. All right, so we already established that 5f plus 10t is what the money's worth, right? And that added up to be 55. Well, I could probably continue down my table a little further, right? I see how the pattern goes and get my answer, but let's play along with this, okay? And that he has 9 bills, okay? He has 9 bills, so that means the f plus the t have to add up to 9, because that's how many 5s he has, that's how many 10s he has. Now we're going to solve this system. You've got your choices of solution method. You can solve it by graphing, you can solve it by substitution, by elimination. I would encourage you to consider elimination here. It's already kind of set up at the structure in terms of like the equal signs are more or less lined up, the numbers, the t's, the f's. What I'd like to do is have a coefficient of f that is opposite from 5 or a coefficient from t that is opposite for 10. I want these variables to eliminate when I add. So what I'm going to do is multiply the bottom one. Let's go ahead and eliminate our f's. So basically I want a -5 here as the coefficient of f. So I'm going to multiply the whole bottom equation by -5. Put it in parentheses. All right, so let's rewrite everything. Top equation as it was. Being careful to write my t like a nice little scripty t, so it doesn't look like a plus sign. I'm going to distribute my bottom equation. Now hopefully you can take it from there. We've done a few in class and outside of class in our videos with solving by elimination. So see if you can take it from there. Play the recording when you're ready. All right, so hopefully you took time to do this, paused. The f's eliminate, they add to 0. The t's add to 5t, adds to 10. So therefore t is 2. All right, well that's cool, because if I have, well first of all I can go back and kind of do a sanity check here. I can see that if I were to continue this down, I was getting closer to the correct amount of money by decreasing the number of 10s, right? So I would eventually have gotten to 55. So if we have 9 bills, that must mean the 5s were 7, right? Because f plus t equals 9, and I just established that t is 2. This is kind of like doing a emoji math, right? Find out what the taco is worth, you can substitute it in. And therefore the f has to be 7. So now we can write a sentence. You should always write a sentence to answer these questions. All right, let's just do a little double check to make sure that works. 2 10s would give me $20. 7 5s would give me $35. Adds up to 55. Yep, and it adds up to the 9 bills that we're supposed to have. So both of those criteria are met. Okay. Let's change it up on you. Let's say that Jonathan has 7 bills that were all 5s and 20s. We're also told he has $120. What would that system look like? So see if you can do that one on your own. Set it up, define your variables, set it up, and see if you can solve for it. So hopefully you paused. If not, please do that now. So we got 7 bills, right? We're told that fact. And it was totaling $120. So the 5s are worth 5. The 20s are worth 20. And it all adds up to be 120. Okay, again, I'm going to try to solve it by elimination. Multiply by -5 again. Try to get these to be opposites. Oops, when I rewrote it, I didn't write it right. Let me back that up. This needs to be a f, right? Let's fix that. 5 times your f plus 20 times your t. All right, got it. All right, now we can add, eliminating one of the variables. 15t equals 85. Okay, so we're going to divide like we did before. We did a little mental math. We divided both sides. Problem is, when I divide both sides by 15, I get like 5.6 repeating. That's weird. Either I made a mistake or that is an invalid amount of bills that could have added up to 120. So I recheck my work and I feel like, yep, it's all good. And so again, the question said, evaluate whether we could have been told true information. We were not. Okay. So I feel like we've led you through this process, and I feel like you're prepared to now tackle a problem all on your own. So I'd like you to turn to the next page, and I'd like you to read over the given information and see if you can answer question A, see if this is reasonable. See if you can, in part B, write your system based on your information here. You can play the recording if you're stuck, and then just repause it and get as far as you can on your own. Okay, the idea is here to just use the video to guide you. And then part C to solve it. We'll hold off on part D. Play the recording when you're ready to check your work. Okay, hopefully you paused. You really must do this in order to see what you know, right? You got to get as far as you can on your own. So could the pretzels have cost $1.75 and sodas $1.50? Well, let's see what it looked like for Samantha. So I'll call her Sam. She got 3 pretzels at $1.75. Plus she had 4 sodas at $1.50 each. Crank some numbers here, and it works out to be $11.25. Check. All right, that's what we expected it to be. Now let's do Raza. Well, Raza came out to be $11.75, but that's not right because Raza only paid $8.25. So that's a contradiction. So we clearly don't have the right answer here. That was kind of like a guess, right? And so guess and check is kind of it's an inefficient way. We need a better way. All right, so we're going to write our system here. You can use any letters. You use P and S. Remember, S kind of looks like a 5. I would stay away from S in general. X and Y would work. They're going to use X and Y here, and that's fine. Okay, so let's set up our system based on what we see here. So I'm going to really encourage you just to take the English sentences and translate them into math. So 3 pretzels. What's a pretzel worth? X, right? So 3x and plus 4 sodas. Well, soda's Y. 4y. Paid, that means equals, right? $11.25. You do the other one if you haven't done it yet for Raza. Okay, so for Raza, 5 pretzels, right? Two sodas. Paid, that means she exchanged. It must have been equal, right? $8.25. So now we've got our system. 3x plus 4y equals $11.25. 5x plus 2y is $8.25. Part C just says solve this system. So hopefully you have some techniques in mind, allow you to solve this, get as far as you can, then play the recording. Okay, I'm going to use the elimination method. It says to, but also it's just set up well for elimination. Okay, we want to have one of these be opposites. It's hard to turn a 3 into a 5 or a 5 into a 3, but we could do it. We could turn them into like a 15. But instead, I'm going to turn this 2y into a negative 4y. Keep your top. Manipulate the bottom. Multiply by a negative 2. Okay, now that I know what a pretzel's worth, I can figure out a soda. Using either one of these equations, I'll use the top one. This is kind of like your emoji math. We know what the pretzel's worth, so I can substitute in 0.75 where I see an x. Work this out. Okay, and then finally, we always like to write a sentence to answer our question. Thanks for watching.